In 1971, I was 16 and a half years old, working at the Big X, WNEX in Macon. And you'd never know who was going to come through that door.
People staring, people, well, we don't care.
The music was amazing back in 1971. And in fact, we're still listening to a lot of it today. In 1971, gas was 36 cents a gallon. When people would find out I was on the radio, they'd go, oh yeah, I'd love to be on the radio. I could do that. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, what's happening? 36 cents a gallon. We drove everywhere. Hey. We would drive from the kitchen to the bathroom. Oh, why walk? I'm driving to the bathroom. One of the really weird things is we would keep the door unlocked on the weekends during the daytime because people would just come to the radio station and ask for requests.
WNEX rock and roll on a Saturday night. Bill Elder 725 with Archie Belladrell. And what would the world be like without music? Number one, I'd be out of a job.
I mean, all the hey-hays are fine, but what do you do after the hey-hays? That's the problem with being on radio. You have to think 2 or 3 or 4 steps ahead, because when you get through saying what you're going to say, you're going, okay, there's going to be dead air if I shut up. What do I do next? The Big X was an amazing place for a 16-and-a-half-year-old. I'd be doing my radio show, the door would open, and 4 or 5 girls would drop by the station from the swimming pool to going to get something to eat and request a record in their bikinis. Wilson Pickett happened to love to come by the Big X when he was in town, and so a lot of times he would just drop by and hang out for a little bit. You may have heard of one of the band members of Wilson Pickett's band, Jimi Hendrix. So Wilson Pickett standing there in the control room, and these group of girls come in to ask for a request. They didn't know who he was or what he sang, but if they'd have known, they'd have started screaming. You would hear your radio station on every radio at the pool. It was kind of like everybody agreed that that's who they were going to listen to. If you wanted to get people at one place at one time, WNEX was our Twitter. It worked like clockwork. Human beings pressing a button for everything you heard on the air.
WNEX. 625 WNEX. And Megan, it's a Saturday night. There's absolutely no reason not to boogie.
Man, you always knew the songs that you were listening to when you were at the beach. I mean, you'd be lying on the beach, the ocean waves would be crashing in, and Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones would start playing. You'd see a girl lying by Chase with her radio, and the cool thing is that you knew a song was popular when it started playing. All the radios simultaneously got turned up.
The Big X, 834, rock and roll, golden weekend, and all the Allman Brothers.
What a lot of people don't know is that when a radio station microphone goes on in the control room, the studio speakers turn themselves off automatically. Why? Because you'd get feedback from the microphone. To give you an idea of some of the songs that came out in 1971 for the first time: Stairway to Heaven, Imagine by John Lennon, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. And this is the reason why a lot of disc jockeys are deaf. Maggie May by Rod Stewart, Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who, Family Affair by Sly and the Family Stone. A lot of disc jockeys like to tap their feet as they're working because they're keeping beat with the music, and it also kind of gets you motivated and psyched out. But what you'd hear when the speaker would go off, you'd hear the music going da-na-da-na-da-na-da-na. The Big X! All of our promotions, all of our contests, our music, the commercial content was all geared toward teenagers. I know about community, and I know how we're all in touch on the internet, but there really was nothing like being with a group of real people listening to your favorite radio station on an afternoon and listening to the Big X. Now that you know a bit more about 1971, maybe when an old disc jockey like me complains about the good old days, you'll understand a little better. Yes, I'm old. I'm reading them off an envelope.